Hey everyone, Ryan here. So before the episode, I just want to let you know we'd got some new camera equipment right before we started recording, and obviously we don't know how to use it all yet, so apologies in advance for the subpar quality on this one. We'll have it fixed before the next one. Alright, now on to the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of State of the Union, the only sneaker podcast that should be on your 2023 New Year's resolution list. I'm your co-host, Ryan Landry.
I'm your co-host, Tanner Young.
How you doing? You feeling like you're going to do a New Year's resolution this year? Or?
Yes, I definitely do. I've actually been setting the New Year's resolution before the New Year has even begun.
Wow. That's ultra prepared.
Yeah, so I have like an achievable, I have one that I'm actually actively doing, and then one that like I feel like everyone makes that I just hope that I end up doing.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I think everyone makes that same goal to bowl the 280 by the end of the year. I think that's a pretty universal New Year's resolution. Yeah, I would say so for sure.
Well, then I guess I have three
New
Year's resolutions.
Maybe first episode of season 5, New Year's resolutions.
We talk about a new. Submit it. That's what we do. Beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I say we do New Year's resolutions, and then we do a wild prediction as sneaker of the year.
I love it. I love
just before it even
I no idea what's coming. But I've already seen some YouTube channels doing it, so it's the worst. But
I don't even know what's coming out.
Let's jump on the bandwagon. Let's try and feed the algorithm for sure.
There you go. You excited to pop some fireworks?
You know it, and by that I mean we won't, but hopefully the neighbors do and we can watch it. You know,
that's what I'm talking about. Look, it's a hard economy out there.
If someone else is doing it, why am I also going to do it? I could watch theirs. There's not illegal. Yeah. It's not like pirating a movie. They would never know. How would they know?
Neighbor comes out. No.
You can't film. Just like covering up the camera. Yeah,
covering your not even your eyes.
Yeah.
Just trying to.
Well, hey, speaking of feeding the algorithm, this is another video episode. So if you're listening to it, make sure you hop on over to our YouTube channel. If you're already watching it on the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It does greatly help, and we super appreciate it. And what an episode we are here for. The final episode of the year and the very timely season 4, episode 20. The dankest episode of them all. Sneaker of the year 2022. Wow. What a year it's been for sneakers. And by that I mean kind of underwhelming, but let's not give it all away.
It's been weird. It's like I feel like there was a huge gap in the middle of the year where it was so quiet.
For sure.
But honestly, the way the year ended, they definitely
November got hands. November got hands for sure, I would say.
Yeah, they really said, which I guess was nice. If you were financially smart, then every time you were like, I want to spend money on a shoe, you just saved it.
That's the big brain play.
Yeah.
Some 40 chess.
If you weren't financially smart, then end of the year was a bit of a bummer.
Then it was a bummer to sit there from the sidelines and watch, at me in the comments right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't need to buy the shoes if I could just watch people wear them.
I can see them on the internet. Listen, and then eventually we're moving to artifactor.swoosh or NFTs or whatever you want to call them. And then my Fortnite character will have all the drip. And I won't need to wear shoes. I won't need to even go outside. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, my mom called me foolish when I was decking my me out, back in the day. But
yeah. Look who's laughing now, Mom. Yeah.
For the future drip.
Sorry, I'm a visionary, Mom. Sorry. It's all going this direction, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Digital.
Yeah. Well, really looking forward to getting into it. Bit of a sad disclaimer right here at the top of the episode. We were going to have a whole segment where we read off some of our Instagram followers' sneakers of the year. If you're not following us on Instagram at Shoe Podcast, because we do things like this. We'll run polls on the Instagram. We'll ask for people's feedback, and then we'll pick certain answers and shout them out in the episode. This one's on me. We asked people what their sneaker of the year was. Responses came in, but that was like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, no problem. I'm doing the early homework for this episode.
Nice.
I went today to pull the responses, and your stories stay in your archive, but people's answers don't. So I don't have anyone answers.
What's up with that Instagram?
Why? How much data are they taking up?
Yeah, it
can't be a lot. It's text. Leave them.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know us millennials are ruining Instagram. It's turning into Facebook.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, come on, please.
Give us at least one thing. So sorry about that. If you submitted an answer, we do appreciate it. I did read them all. I just don't have a great memory, so I don't remember them all.
It's tough.
We love you. Oh, we do love you. We do love you. The last qualifier I'll give before we go into this episode, if you've not watched and listened to them yet, make sure you check out our past 2 episodes, Best Sneakers of 2022, Part 1 and Part 2. Tanner, how are those episodes different from this episode, if you don't mind explaining to the people?
Well, the first 2, we have unique little fun categories. So we kind of go into a bunch of things. What do we think is the most slept on? What's the most overrated? Best retro, best collab, most innovative, all those fun little things to break up categories. And it's a way for us to highlight some shoes that don't fit into a sneaker of the year, but deserve to be recognized, deserve to be talked about. Yeah. So we go ahead and we do that. And then this episode, the final episode, is going to be our definitive, what we think is the best sneaker of the year. And obviously giving a little bit of the behind the scenes of, or maybe not behind the scenes, yeah, the reasoning for that. So first 2 are the part, sneakers of the year is just a little fun category, category. Again, go back, listen to that. Give us a shout out. Again, what categories do you think should be added? We may incorporate that next year. Or if you were like, hey, you didn't talk about this one shoe for most innovative, and I think it's great, please give us a holler. We'd love to read, love to see what everybody is into, because everyone's taste is just a little bit different.
Go ahead, pop off in the comments. We'll go through them. We'll read them.
Please.
That being said, that's enough precursor. Shall we get into today's episode?
It is time.
You're up first here. Sneaker of the year, Tanner's picks. I'm gonna pause you real quick right out the gate. I know I just opened the gate and I told the horse to run. I said not so fast. But give the people a little backstory. What was your thought process going into crafting your list? What was kind of your criteria, or what were you looking for?
So when I first think of sneaker of the year, I think of what made a lot of noise on the internet. And then of those shoes, which ones made a lot of noise for me personally. Obviously, because it's more of that individualized thing.
Right.
And honestly, for sneaker of the year this year, I was looking at just a shoe that released this year. Previously, I've tried to maybe look at just very newer models, not just a retro or a silhouette with a different colorway. But with the way that we kind of structured this year of having those 2 and being able to talk about a lot more shoes, I went with just what came out this year and what was I like, this is worth talking about. And how much did I enjoy it? Was I seriously, trying a lot to get the shoe? Was I able to get the shoe? All of those things, a lot of everything came in, but kind of the biggest thing to me was how much did I kind of like freak out when this shoe came out? That was my biggest thing.
A real gumbo of criteria, if you will.
Exactly.
All comes together to make a beautiful roux. Speaking of honorable mention, why don't you go ahead and let the people know what comes in at the bottom of your list?
Bottom of the list, honorable mention. This one, to me, the Nike Dunk Low Panda. I know it was a real flash in the pan type shoe. It came on the scene. It was unbelievably hot. People were very into it. And then Nike made a lot of them because people were into it. And then it got oversaturated. And then people stopped enjoying it. I think the reason people stopped enjoying it was because everyone was wearing it. You saw it everywhere, which, don't get me wrong, does affect. But that is a big, you could say, kind of negative thing about sneakers, is when a lot of people can get something, that means that a lot of people don't like it anymore. But this was a huge shoe, kind of blew up the internet. And honestly, it's just a great looking shoe. It's a black and white shoe, has enough to be broken up. Dunk Low looked great.
Hard to go
Anytime
wrong.
I can give Dunk love, I will give Dunk love. So yeah, I just thought the Panda deserved a little shout out just because when it was hot, it was, lava hot.
Yeah.
It's kind of cooled down right now, but probably get these for a really good price. So honorable mention, starting off small.
And I think to your point, the quantities and levels at which Nike produced this one really just took it from the sneakerhead bubble to the like hot fashion bubble. You know, like people who are into fashion, people who are into dressing cool, but are not super keen on every sneaker release that's going on. So it's like, you know, to your point of, you know, like maybe it's like a lot of people don't care about it. I think like sneakerheads are definitely quiet on it, but it does seem like the internet is still this is going to be the staple shoe of right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, it's a black and white shoe. This is going to go with like everything. Outfit.
Yeah,
it's a dunk low. Dunks are. It's not the dunk mania that we once had, but dunks are still very recognizable as like I know that's a good shoe, even if you don't like if you're not in the sneaker realm. So
I think great for this criteria of honorable mention of like point out what a year it had, but maybe not in my upper echelon.
Exactly, but my bronze medal, my maybe celery. Of the Trinity. I'll give this the celery.
Oh, wow, the gumbo analogy. I love it.
Yeah,
commit to it. Yeah.
I'm going to go with, probably not a big surprise, the Sneaker Politics and Asics collab, the Gel Light 3, always ready. Mm-hmm. We did kind of, spot this holds a little special place in our hearts. So if you want to more in depth, please go back on those episodes. We have talked about the shoe into the ground. But it is a great color. I think it's a great collab. Good message behind, for sure. Obviously, always love to shout out Sneaker Politics when I can. And just honestly, way more comfortable than I thought it was. The split tongue that the Gel Light 3 has, honestly, when I first looked at it, I was like, this is going to be, I feel like it's going to feel weird. And I feel like it's going to like show my sock, which I wasn't really excited for. Mm-hmm. But then once I put it on, obviously that wasn't an issue at all. It was a very comfortable shoe, easy to wear, and not overly patriotic, which is, I guess, maybe kind of weird and things like that. But I think just a really, really good shoe. What put it at number 3 for me was the color. While it is a good color, an all green shoe is kind of a hard thing to incorporate into a fit, and then the stripes and the field of stars also in the shoe, kind of hard to also play that with an outfit.
It's a catered fit. You definitely got to put some thought into this one. It's not a wake up and roll out the bed with it kind of shoe. I give you that.
Yeah, but definitely, just great. And then the rollout for this was also phenomenal. Everything about the shoe did well. So that's what got the celery. Me. And I guess green as well. That kind of
green and green. I like that. Yeah,
green and green.
Great shoe, definitely worthy of being on the list. I think of the 8 different subcategories that we've done, this has been in at least 2, maybe 3 of them. So, hard to deny the impact it had on us, and what more is left to say on it.
Exactly. So I'm going to give this one the bell pepper. This is going to be the bell pepper of the Trinity. All right. And this is the Dizygotics.
Yes.
The Momotaro. I'm pretty sure I said that right.
Yeah.
Pack. I got I don't remember the exact name for the colorway, but the blue and gray, the darker one, is the pair that I ended up picking up and having for my collection. And this shoe is premium, honestly. Yeah. The materials are phenomenal. The sock liner is great. It's a very, very comfortable shoe. I wore this in Chicago. It was the only shoe I brought. So I wore it day in, day out, walked a ton. And honestly, you cannot tell. There are no stress marks in that material other than like the creasing in the midsole. But that's just, obviously you're wearing a shoe.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's foam. But all the material on the upper, literally shows no sign of distress. My feet never hurt. I never had any complaints with the shoe. Crazy comfortable, crazy quality on this one. And it looks great. The colorway I ended up having, the reason I went with it was because it's just so easy to put on and wear. That dark blue, that navy, that gray with a little hit of silver, it fits with everything. It quietly goes in. And it was nice because it's a shoe that helps me stand out a little bit more in kind of like a quiet flex. Yeah. In the sense of, it's not heat, it's not a recognizable shoe, but people who observe sneakers
People
are going to
who
be
are
like,
paying
oh,
attention. Yeah.
yeah, hey, I don't know what the shoe this is. What is this? And then being able to tell, the brand and kind of everything behind the brand and the shoe is really nice. That's kind of really a lot what I am kind of now looking for with shoes, is trying to find maybe those brands that aren't on the front page, which with their most recent collab.
Yeah.
Exactly. But with their most recent collab, shout out to them. They deserve it. Been getting a lot of attention for the Cheech and Chong collab. But yeah, phenomenal shoe. Great, great quality. I mean, when people say premium quality, I feel like that's always just such a buzzword. But I really put these to the test. And they did. For sure. They did great. Yeah. They did great. So I had to give this the bell pepper award for sure.
I was just and next year we'll have the podiums correctly labeled for you there. I'm very sorry.
Thank you.
I was working on a short schedule this year.
It's okay.
But I was about to jump in and say that for those of you that are listening that don't know, Zygotic, absolutely an on fire brand right now with the Cheech and Chong collab they just did. It's cool. Like, it's crazy to be seeing like a kind of like what I would call almost like smaller, lesser known brand when we were covering them to now go to like Sneaker Freakers sharing their posts, and Nice Kicks is doing content for them. So really cool to see them, I think, blow up and get that recognition that is very well deserved for the level of quality that they're putting out. So love to see him win. Go check out Zygotic if you haven't already.
For sure. One of 2 shoe boxes that I've kept. So if you know anything about me.
Yeah, that alone should speak volumes. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah. Come on. So great box.
All right.
And now for the onion, which I know you may think the onion. I love onion stuff. I'm picking up the trifecta. Onions are the best.
Yeah, onions are the best.
So taking the throne this year from my sneaker of the year, the Jordan 1 Lost and Found. I know you're probably like, this is, probably could have called it. Maybe not an exciting pick, but let me tell you what, I fell in love with this shoe.
Hard not to.
I mean, you take the iconic Jordan 1 Chicago colorway, and again, like I've been saying, I am on a distressed and weathered look this year. And they were like, what if we just did that on the Chicago? And I was like,
do it.
Done.
Do it, Michael. I dare you. Yeah.
Yeah. I went after this shoe more than I've done any other shoe. I was like, I really want to try and get it. Unfortunately, did not get it. But still, I'm like, this is just a phenomenal shoe. I know obviously they had some issues with the whole mold thing. But that's not a design flaw. That's storage, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, not much to say about this other than I just tried for this shoe the most out of any shoe I've tried for. And that to me was the reason why I had to put this as my number 1, is because I put in so much effort to try and get it.
Legwork.
And if you're going to go to, and try, efforts, obviously just putting my name into raffles, but to take the time to try and do it, I was like, okay, well, I did that for the most shoe that I ever tried, other than just like logging onto sneakers and try to get something. Right. So with all of the effort I put in to try and get this shoe, was like, okay, this has to be my number 1.
Yeah, I think that's a really good reasoning behind it. It's hard to know what to add to this shoe that hasn't already been said before, and especially, for such a classic silhouette and colorway, I think it can be a no-brainer for a lot of people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, in past years we've gone with less of the more mainstream hype shoe, but I mean, you really just can't. Yeah, you just can't argue with this one.
And typically that's not like a hard and fast rule for us, but I think a lot of the time you get so burnt out on seeing it so much that you're like, it was a great shoe, but it's getting beaten into the ground now, Let me ask you, for this being at the top of your list and you saying this is one of those shoes that, probably in the longest time you've put in the most amount of effort for, is there any itch and desire in you to pay resale on these?
With the right price, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely would. I mean, I would pay probably more than what I would with any other shoe.
Yeah.
But currently right now, working on one of those New Year's goals, those are taking
not quite aligned for you there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's kind of like get financial security, spend a lot of money on a sneaker. It's like, boy.
Yeah. Hard to do both at the same time, I guess.
Hard to do both. But for this shoe, my threshold for what is like a cap of what I would pay is definitely higher.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I think, you got to let yourself be irresponsible every once in a while.
Sometimes you got to treat yourself.
Exactly. How are you going to make the gumbo if not,
Thank you.
Exactly. Wow. I love your gumbo bracket. I think a very well-rounded, a very balanced mix here. A good blend of, some classic eat, like, these and pandas high on a lot of people's list, but then you brought some, like, you might have missed this, but it's really good and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
A well-balanced diet, just like a gumbo, I would say.
Just like a gumbo is? Wow. Absolutely.
Okay.
Good rule over here.
Next year, your slide says gumbo bracket. Hold me
gumbo
to that.
Bracket.
Internet.
I love gumbo bracket too.
The gumbo bracket. Put a little Louisiana flavor in it. I like that.
Come on now. Come on now. All right. Now what the people really want to hear. Landry's.
I don't know about
Landry's
that.
licks. Landry's licks right here.
Oh wow. What a take. That'll be mine. I'm gonna just do the Pokemon Lickitung next year. That's all of my brackets. Yeah.
Just like a bronze Lickitung.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
I
go.
love that.
There you go. All right. How many honorable mentions are you going to say this year?
I'm going to only do one.
Okay.
One.
All right.
I know,
All
which
right.
is very different from years past.
There you go.
But that goes into my thought process of coming up with this list, which I not so subtly alluded to at the top of the episode, which is that this year I felt like, I don't know why, not that much like really, really resonated and stuck with me.
Not wrong.
I don't know if that's a result of just like getting further and further into my sneakerheaddom or whatever you would call it, or if it was more of a reflection on this year, but it felt like I felt like the dopamine hits were far and few between, but when they hit, they hit.
They were high. Good
point. Eventually I waffled on this list. I mean, it's been like a week now that I haven't had anything ready for this list, and I just put it together today. And ultimately, my thought process going into it was just pick the stuff that came out this year that I would be most hyped to wear, that I would be most excited to wear. Okay. Because we've done enough categories for everything else for me to be like, this one's up here because of this. This one's up here. For me, it's just like, what would I be most excited to wear? And I think that's somewhat of a carefree approach. So I'm going to take that.
I think, okay. Well, it seems like we kind of had the same kind of mindset to it. It's just what did I go, what was the effort in for this one? All right, well,
I'll go ahead and I'll kick it off then. My honorable mention is indeed going to be the Nike Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found. Here's why I'm putting it at honorable mention. And no one like Tanner or my wife will know about the weird quirks I have where I just have certain rules and certain things just stick with me. And for as carefree as I was with this list, I have a personal thing about retros or takes on retros don't go that high on my list. Just because I feel like it's easy. I feel like it's softballs. If they release release the Black Cement 3 every year and I put it at the top of my list every year, it's just like, it's a good shoe. Okay. We've acknowledged for 40 years now that it's a good shoe. Like it doesn't need any more recognition and praise, but I'll at least shout it out because this was also went for as many raffles as I could, tried to go on sneakers, everything like that shoe for me.
Yeah, I think that's good reasoning. Like you said, I mean, it's a pretty easy layup to just re-release a very sought after colorway. Yeah. Or a shoe that's been in the vault for 6+ years. Yeah. It's easy to then just be like, yeah, this is great because it was great back then, and it's still great because of how sought after it has been. So I definitely can see this, and I don't blame you. Don't blame me for being like, hey, don't get me wrong. It's awesome, and I really want it. But.
Well, and I'll add, had they just retroed the Chicago Jordan 1 like regularly, wouldn't even be on the honorable mentions. Because that to me is just that's softballs. But the treatment they did on this, the packaging, the story, that's ultimately what I like so much about this one that I put it at the honorable mention.
Okay. All right. Not bad.
Not bad. The gumbo theme is way cooler than saying my bronze Lickitung. Because I don't like that at all.
We'll workshop yours. We
got a whole year to do this episode next time, so we'll come back to it. But my third place for sneaker of the year is going to be the Zion Williamson and Air Jordan 1 Low Voodoo. We talked about this in one of the past 2 episodes. It was on your list, I think maybe for best collab.
I think so.
I think it was your honorable mention. a really, really good shoe. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, for me, kind of what makes this such a standout shoe. I mean, like, I'll always have a bit of fandom behind like Zion Williamson, even though I'm not watching him play and I don't know anything about basketball. But it's Louisiana, and I'm gonna root for it, you know.
100%.
And then he
100%.
doubles down on the voodoo theme. I'm gonna root for it. My testament to this shoe and why it's on my list is that I've never been a Jordan 1 low fan. Not like
Mm-hmm.
actively against it or hate it, but just like when you can have highs, why
Why?
why get lows?
Yeah.
If I want
Fair.
if I want lows, I'm probably gonna get dunks. Like I'm not gonna get Jordan 1 lows.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
but this one for me changed it. Just really, really cool. It doesn't help that I
Mm.
have this like insatiable urge to spend my life savings on Coraline dunks just like you. And I'll
Oh,
never do it. And this slightly
never.
enough scratches that itch.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Of like kind of Coraline, kind of almost like Travis Scott, just a lot of cool patchwork elements in it. So I like that they're kind of mismatched between the two different shoes as well. A better image would show that. But this was one that, you know, entered a few different raffles, tried on sneakers, didn't hit, and just the resale price that they're going for now, I think it's north of 300, is like,
Just a little
I'll
pricey.
appreciate it from afar, you know? I'll just appreciate it
Yeah.
from afar.
Yeah. This was almost my honorable mention.
Good
Just
one.
based on how much I really, really like this shoe. Like you said,
Yeah.
I agree. If I'm going to go for a low, I'm probably just going to go for a dunk
Yeah.
over a Jordan 1. It doesn't hurt that we are just Louisiana fanboys and are going to do it.
Said the man who did a gumbo bracket, like no subtlety here.
Yeah. And I mean, Zion's on a tear this
Yeah.
season so far. I mean, he's crushing it. And then it was cool to see, you know, just because last season there was a little, you know, is he going to stay, you know, in New Orleans? Are they going to trade him? Is he going to leave? You know, whatever it may be. And he kind of just like almost quieted all of that with coming out with this of like, nah, like
I'm here to stay.
I'm here for the culture. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is a great pick.
Yeah.
This is a great pick. I don't know how many people would talk about this shoe. I feel like it kind of was a little quiet, but
Yeah.
still kind of big. And then honestly, I just love, thank you, basketball player, for not doing a full on like PE or like basketball shoe. Cause
Yeah.
like, I could wear this.
Make it accessible for sure. Yeah, I don't know how many like I don't think it ended up on the list of any major sneaker publications or media outlets. I do remember this one was on the list of some of the people on Instagram, and this one has been the talk of a lot of our Discord community as well. So
Yeah.
I know
Big shoe.
it's a popular shoe, especially amongst our audience. So shout out you if you like this shoe. Leave a comment down below. Let us know if this one's up there for you. Moving on.
Deuce deuce.
Deuce deuce. You know what time it is. Number 2, my silver medal coming in for sneaker of the year is the Joe Freshgoods and New Balance
Okay.
Conversations Amongst Us 550. This came out with a pack with Kawhi Leonard's signature model as well, if I'm not mistaken, but no one was really going for that one, I don't think. The 550 was really the star of the two. This one for me, this one holds a special place because I remember all the pandemonium and chaos that I put into trying to get this shoe, of keeping up with the release of trying to enter all the raffles. And I eventually got my pair from Wish ATL, shout out Wish, that did a release on their Facebook, and not that many people were paying attention to it. And I got them. Just my first pair of 550s, actually maybe my first pair of New Balances even,
Okay.
which they're having an outstanding year right now. Just, you know, crazy, crazy love for that brand. Um, I just, I'm a big fan of like neutrals. And so this one for me also, I like all the different materials on it. I like the hits of suede. I like the kind of poofy in logo. I like the canvas material a lot. I didn't know these were canvas until I got them in, and I love that about them. I love that I can wear it with almost anything. And I'm going to butcher it because I don't know the entire story behind the conversations amongst this pack. But if I remember correctly, it was really designed by an ERG, which I'm pretty sure is Employee Resources Group. I should know that because we have them at my company as well. That is shining a light on Black designers, Black creatives, and giving them their flowers and giving them the platform to do things like this. So it's almost a bit weird. Joe Freshgoods wasn't directly taking credit for this collaboration, but he was very much involved with a lot of the marketing rollout for it and had a release on his Instagram as well. So kind of a weird blurred line there, but all that to say, all the rambling aside, this one goes so high on my list because this was maybe the second sneaker release this year that I was all in for, doing everything to try and get a pair and was able to hit on. So just a very soft spot in my heart for these.
Yeah, I mean it's always fun when you go hard for a shoe and you try and seek out, okay, what do I need to do to get into this raffle and trying to see where they can go. And then obviously cherry on top for being able to finally get the shoe.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, pretty clean shoe right here. Definitely, like you said, going with probably anything you wear. Giving me 90s dad vibes with this shoe. You get some just some nice denim with this.
You could put some grass stains on this bad boy, let me tell you right now.
When you're taking the misses out to Chili's,
yeah,
you pop those on.
These are the Chili's Force Ones for sure.
And you let her know what the night's gonna be like.
You let them know to keep the chips and salsa coming. Absolutely.
You dang right.
You
dang
steal
right.
a pot holder and pocket it on the way out.
Hey, well, you paid for it.
By virtue of paying for the food, did I not pay for the platter the food came on as well?
If you didn't want me to take it, you shouldn't have walked away.
You shouldn't have brought it to me. That's all I'm saying. That's fair.
There you go. Yeah. Good shoe. Good number 2.
Thank you.
Number 2.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think
this one as well, I'm not seeing on too many people's list. I think because it came out earlier in the year and people are probably get that recency bias at the end of the year. But
yeah, and I know there's another New Balance collab.
He did another
protection pack.
That wasn't Joe Freshgoods, and that wasn't a collab. That was inline for New Balance. It just very well executed. Looks like it could be a collab, but he did do another collab later in the year with New Balance on one of the 990 models. I don't remember.
Was that the hot pink shoe?
There was a pink, a green, and a blue. Yeah, that one ended up, I think, on Complex's list at some point. So
I would imagine this one just goes just because of how muted the colorway is. You know, it kind of falls behind, but that's kind of what I like
about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a quiet flex. Thank you.
Say less.
Exactly. All right. Now let's get loud, though.
Let them hear you in the back of the room. The gold place, my sneaker of the year 2022 is going to have to go to the A Ma Maniére and Air Jordan 4 Violent Or. I think I said violent, but it's violet. But I'm violently enthusiastic about this shoe. So maybe that's the Freudian slip there.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just this one as well, I think I put as my collaboration of the year, which if you've listened to this episode, if you've listened to this podcast for 5 minutes, you know that for me, collaborations and good shoes are like lockstep. It's like, if it's a good collaboration, it's a good shoe most of the time.
It's going to be a good shoe. Collaborations carrying it.
This is probably no surprise to most people that are listening that know me. But just super, super wearable. Feels super premium, feels super luxury. I actually just wore mine for the first time last week, and they're like, it's quilted sock liner and insole, so it's just super premium feeling. Just a really nice shoe. I don't really even have more to say about it other than just a really nice shoe.
Yeah.
We talked about it a lot in the when we talked about it as best collaboration, but I also like the release method they did where they encouraged people to use their social media platform to speak out about issues that were important to them. Wasn't for me, way too introverted and not really one that's like, hey, let me get on social media and express my political views to everyone. But
tough.
Shout out to those of you.
Very brave.
Actual shout out to those of you that did it and got on there and put yourself out there like that. That's very bold and courageous. But thankfully I was able to end up grabbing these from their website. And yeah, I mean, all the A Ma Maniére and Jordan collaborations, I feel like they really do take it to that next level. It's just a matter of whether or not it's for you. Like the 1s and the 2s can be a little divisive.
Sure.
Super clean.
Yeah. I think the point that you had made with the A Ma Maniére collaborations was how you had said that they kind of just take a shoe and don't really go and put a lot of big touch on it, a lot of big spin on it. You had said that they really just take something and it was like, what if it was premium?
Yeah.
What if it was that elevated product? And ever since you said that, I have looked at the A Ma Maniére collaborations in a totally different light.
Yeah.
Of, no, they're not super exciting. No, they're not doing something like super over the top and crazy. But what they're doing is like, what if we take this classic shoe and make it premium?
Yeah.
And if we add all of these premium products and materials and execute it to a highest level and add that luxury feel to a Jordan 4. And once you said that, I was like, I appreciate A Ma Maniére's in a whole different view now, because that totally makes sense.
You hear that, A Ma Maniére? I would like my check at this point. I got you at least one more customer here. But jokes aside, so like I feel like that's what they are doing, and especially Joe Freshgoods, especially with this 550 right here, which is like, let the product be the product. Let it be incredibly good, premium, high quality product. Tell your story through the release of it, through how you do the release and the marketing campaign. That's my take on how A Ma Maniére is doing it, and I think it's really interesting and separates them. And again, Joe Freshgoods as well, because like this shoe, the Zion Voodoo, you see it and you get what it is. You know what's going on there.
Yeah.
The other two you could wear. People who don't know what it is might compliment you. People who know what it is also going to compliment you, but they might not, no one might know the story behind it, but I think they do their storytelling through the release, through the marketing materials, through maybe the lineup if they do a drive or anything like that. And just let the product be premium product, which I'm here for it. Obviously here for it.
Yeah, clearly with the 1 and 2 spot. I think that's beautiful. I think that's a great way to view those sneakers. Is it, the shoe itself doesn't have to be the storytelling aspect. We can make just a great shoe and tell a story.
Yeah.
And then this is just the product of a story. So I think that is a really, really great point. And, best storytelling, that's a whole different way to look at that category as well of, do you see the story in the shoe, or is the shoe just a product of a story? So phenomenal. I think great list.
Thank you. It felt kind of tough because, again, I felt like, and I'd like to get your take on it as well, I felt like I could count maybe on one hand the releases this year that I was so eager and excited for that I tried to do everything I could to get a pair.
Yeah.
Can I list them without this being a list of honorable mentions? Because I'm going to go quick.
Sure.
I'll
allow it.
First one that was this year was the Vans and Notre pack. Which I grabbed 2 pairs of those, was super excited. And it's so funny, I can remember this chronologically. I'm pretty sure next then it was the Joe Freshgoods Conversations Amongst Us. Then it was the Sneaker Politics Asics. Then the Lost and Found Jordan 1s. Then the A Ma Maniére Jordan 4s. Those 5 releases this year for me were like, I'm going to do everything I can and drive myself crazy if I can't get these. Zions were up there too. I didn't enter that many raffles for them, but yeah.
Good list.
Were Lost and Found ones for you really like the one that you went that hard for? Or was there anything else this year that you saw and you were like, I really got to put in legwork to see if I can make this happen?
There were. But the Lost and Founds were I went the hardest for.
Yeah. For sure.
Same thing with the Voodoos. I did enter a couple different raffles for that one. And then I think a New Balance shoe.
Okay.
I went in with a couple. But yeah, the Lost and Founds, which is why that was the main thing for me, kind of how I said my reasoning for putting in that number 1, which kind of seems the same way with your 1 and 2 is how much effort did I put in to try and get it. And obviously, if I'm going to put in that much effort, I obviously love that shoe a lot.
So let's go ahead then and see the quick recap for the end of the year. I know we just stared at my screen for like the longest time, but honorable mention, I'm coming at you with the Lost and Found Jordan 1. Tanner, the Nike Dunk Low Panda.
Good looking shoes.
Third place, the Zion Williamson and Air Jordan 1 Low Voodoo. Tanner with the Politics and Asics Always Ready Gel Light 3.
Hints of green.
Second place, my Joe Freshgoods and New Balance Conversations Amongst Us 550. Tanner with the Zygotic Project Alpha Momotaro pack. I think I got all of that.
Yeah. I think, Quiet Flexes.
And then First place, the Amamanier Jordan 4s, Violet Ors, and Tanner then bringing in the Lost and Found Jordan 1s.
Heat.
Overall, it's tough because like when you're putting together the list, like I said, I feel like in years past, there's been more than like 5 releases that I go that hard for. But you look at this and you're like, yeah, all of those solid shoes that I would like be excited to wear.
Yeah, definitely. I think all of these are great shoes. Obviously, I mean they're on our list. Again, our categories somewhat similar.
Some overlap there for sure.
Yeah. And great shoes. I think again we kind of hit it again. We kind of had the same thing. We've got a sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, the buns are going to be where your heat's at, but in the middle, you know, is the substance.
That's where the flavor is. That's where the flavor is, right there in the middle.
There you go. There you
go. All right. So, thank you everyone for checking out another episode of State of the Stream. We got a little while here before we wrap up. Here's an idea we had that we thought would be fun. Let us know down in the comments below if you'd like to see this. We thought about doing a live stream where everyone can hop in and join us, where we go through some of those most popular sneaker of the year lists from other media outlets, Complex, Seth Fowler, Seeker Freaker, other YouTubers, and anyone on Instagram that has a list. And maybe if you want to submit your own, we can find a way to do that. Let us know if you'd be interested in that. We'll go through each one. We'll tear them down. We'll build them up. We'll give you our thoughts on whether stuff actually deserves to be in there or not. So again, leave that in the comments down below if that's the type of video you'd like to see. Something a little bit different for us. I don't think we've really done something like that before.
No, definitely be fun. And then I think a good opportunity for everyone who submitted through the Instagram poll to then be able to be like, hey, this is my sneaker of the year. And we could also, everyone can kind of talk about each individual sneaker of the year. You know, what do we think? Where do we, if we had to rank it in ours, would we change one of my shoes? Would my third place be switched with your sneaker of the year? I think it would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a fun thing to do, just to kind of hang out, everybody come in, look and see, like you said, what the big outlets are doing. And then, that'll be a good space for everyone to share their sneaker of the year. I think that'd be fun.
Absolutely. So keep an eye out on the channel.
Give me a nice cup of cocoa for that one.
Ooh, the winter special. Okay. Doesn't help that it just went back up to the 70s this week, but
70s. Yeah.
We'll time it. We'll time it for the cold.
Iced cocoa?
Is
that just chocolate milk?
That's just chocolate milk. Oh, okay. And my camera's gone. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Wow. So does my camera just shut off after a while?
Wow. You know how expensive that camera is?
It really was a while. Oh, this sucks because OBS is not going to pick it up. Green? Oh, man. All right, we're losing it here. Hang on.
Look at this $20 webcam really holding true right now.
Can we really get it back?
Oh.
No, it's done. This is so bad. Okay. Here's what we do. Tanner, you're going to have to close us out here.
Oh my gosh. I don't have the script.
Okay.
I don't have the script.
Okay. Hang on. Wait, look what we're going to do here. You're going to love this.
Oh yeah. Oh God, this is so much worse.
This is better. It's just the Tanner show.
This is better?
Okay, fine. We'll put him back.
Hey guys. I mean, I guess the half screen is just a black screen.
Hang on. Got a second. I got an idea what we could do here. This is all great feedback for future episodes. This is chaos at the... All right.
Hey.
Bring him in. Hang on a second. I have to crop me down now. Webcam quality. People are going to be like, what happened halfway through that episode? Where did Ryan go? Well, all right. Nothing like editing on the fly. And also, it won't let me grab my video and make me just the smaller one. Hold on. We'll get there. Man, this production was polished until we got to the end there. Okay. Man. My gosh. Okay. Please tell me all of this still works. Check us out online at shoepodcast.com before the whole thing falls apart. We're on Instagram at shoepodcast as well. Please give us a follow. What else we got? YouTube.com/@shoepodcast. Make sure you're subscribed. If you've watched this far, we know you like it. And patreon.com/shoepodcast. Obviously, we could use your support to fix whatever the hell is going on right now. What was that time limit there? That was probably close to an hour that I've had the camera on. So, okay.
Yeah, but you done long. Okay.
Now we know for the future not to do that. Man, and what an end to season 4 that is.
Wow, really? Look at that. Jeez.
So, yep, that's the end of season 4. We'll be back. It'll probably be a few weeks before we're back with the beginning of season 5. I don't want to give away too much. Big changes. Big changes coming for season 5, which is why we're going to be gone for a little while to get everything right so that we can come back swinging here. But it's around the corner. We're excited. If there's anything new you'd like to see from the podcast, like a camera that works for the entire episode, please go ahead and
or a better camera,
or a better camera, obviously.
For me.
Oh, for Tanner. Or for Tanner. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's anything you want to see, just let us know. Leave that down in the comments or message us on Instagram at Shoe Podcast. I've been talking so much, Tanner. What do you want to tell the people before we go? Season 4 sign off. Wow.
Season 4 sign off. I heard a really good quote the other day, and I think it's a great quote to have, to always have a good mindset. And the quote is, I'm going to butcher it completely, but basically the quote was, never complain about having to fix stuff, because that means you have stuff to fix.
Ooh.
And I think just a great mindset when things are going bad. Sometimes it's a good thing to try to as best you can brush away those negative outlooks and emotions on things and try to find that positive thing. So I thought it was a great quote to have. You know, when something's broken, sometimes you just have to look at it in general and say, I have this though. And there are people who don't have these things to fix. So good mindset to end the year and kind of take that energy into 2023. The past couple of years, I'm sure, have been very difficult for a lot of people for many different ways. So sometimes you just gotta, as best you can. I know it's hard to block out those negatives, but try and find that positive and really spotlight that. And I think it's gonna have a great outlook on your mental in the year 2023.
At least I have this camera to fix.
Wow, and even better.
There you go. Very timely. Well,
yeah.
Thank you everyone for checking out another episode of State of the Shoe. We will see you in a few weeks with the launch of season 5. One last time for season 4. I'm your co-host Ryan Landry.
And I'm your co-host Tanner Young.
Y'all have you a happy new year now.